When we built Elias Skin, we got to about 20 mil a year in revenue, and we didn't get to 20 million a year in revenue by just relying on ads. One of the biggest problems at the moment in the industry is that people are so focused on ads and trying to sell to their audience, and they don't have a clear understanding of why brand's important in the first place. What you really want to be doing, guys, is you want to be building a movement around your brand. Okay, so you have two different parts to a business. You have product and you have brand. Equally as important, and both two different parts of the business need to be treated separately, right? So in this video, I want to talk about why they're both important and how you can work on both sides and what you can do to actually build community around a brand. Because a lot of people ask me, well, how do I build community? And really what it comes down to is, number one, identifying who your actual demographic is, and number two, building a movement, okay? So people buy into movements. By the way, I'm in the middle of absolutely nowhere right now, getting my car registered. I couldn't get anything in Melbourne, so we've had to drive 3.5 hours out of Melbourne to register this thing. So the way you got to think about it is this, right? So a brand is something that people can connect with on a deeper level than just the product. You're not going to be successful unless you have a good product. That's self-explanatory. So I don't want to talk about product too much today. What I want you guys to understand is why brand's important. People connect with brand because of an emotion and a feeling it gives you. As a consumer watching this, why is it that you buy from certain brands? Whether it be clothing brands, hair care brands, beauty brands, sports activewear brands, whatever it is. Why is it that you choose to buy those products when you can get relatively the same product from a different brand for half the price? Why don't you go on Alibaba and get a non-branded singlet that's got the same level of quality as a singlet from Nike? Because we're buying into the emotion. When you wear Nike, it gives you a feeling. There's a psychological element that goes on when you wear that product. It's almost like you expect it to be high quality, and it can be the same quality as a singlet that costs 50% of the price, but in your head, it feels like better quality, okay? And this is what we're trying to do when we're building up an online business. We want people to buy into the brand, and that's how you're gonna be able to build longevity and scale. Brands that are doing 20, 30, 40, 50 million a year, they don't have just a hype product and they run a few ads a week and they scale. People are buying into their brand and they've got a lot of repeat purchase customers. These are the kind of things that you guys need to be focusing on if you wanna get to that next level within your business. At the end of the day, guys, we start a business to build longevity. We don't wanna have a pump and dump brand where we scale to $500,000 a month and then we can't sustain the revenue. What I actually want to do is tell you guys a story. So back in the day, I started a brand called Bianco Smile. It was a charcoal teeth whitening brand. We scaled that brand to $600,000 a month in our third month. I'd never even tried the product. I barely ever saw it. I ordered it from China. It went to a warehouse in Australia, and all we did is run before and after ads. Now, don't get me wrong. I was flying at the time, yeah? I was loving it. We were scaling. I thought this is going to go on forever. But what ended up happening is, because we didn't build any brand awareness, no brand integrity, nothing, it was just all about that product. As soon as we started doing well, everyone started copying me. It was very difficult for me to sustain that level of revenue. Keep in mind, I had no fucking repeat purchase customers. I didn't know if the product worked, didn't give a crap about product quality. All I wanted to do was make money and sell product. And that's why I'm so big on this stuff, because what I learned now from looking back at that experience is I wasted time. Yes, I did big revenue. Yes, I made a little bit of money, but I put all this time into sourcing the product, creating the packaging, creating the website, scaling the brand, only to be left with virtually nothing at the end of it. So the revenue was good for my ego, made me feel good at the time, but it didn't build anything meaningful. And so that's why I'm saying to you guys, when you are building up a brand, or if you have a brand right now, you really need to pump the brakes and think to yourself, am I building a brand here, or am I too focused on product? Am I too reliant on Facebook ads? And are people buying into a movement? Or do I even know what my movement is for my brand? What is it that the brand stands for? What is it that the brand values? So go deeper with it. So let's get into the how, okay? So just how do we do this? How do we actually build a brand? Now, you may have seen people talk on Twitter, especially about, you need to know who you're targeting. You need to know your customer avatar. This is not just important for paid ads. Without knowing who you're targeting in your audience, you don't know what they value. Now, when you're building up a brand, there's something called brand pillars and values. Now, this is what your brand stands for. So this could be things like integrity, authenticity, results-driven, humor, fun. These are the things that people are going to connect with. And by people, I mean your target audience. Know exactly who you're going after. From there, you need to know what is it that these people value? And then what do we value as a brand? So write these things down, okay? And these are going to formulate your brand pillars. Everything that you guys do as a brand is going to be formulated around those pillars, from the models that you work with, the people that you hire, the way your packaging looks, the products that you develop, the events that you do, the PR that you do, and so on, okay? So that's your first step. Know who you're targeting, know what they value. Once you know that, you'll then also know what type of products to make. Another question I get is, Manny, how do I validate my product? Guys, the answer is I've never validated a product in my life before I've launched something. I start with brand first. I start with who I'm targeting. I look at the demographic and then I go, well, what is it that these people need? I try to find products that people use on a daily basis or on a weekly basis so that it increases my likelihood of having high retention, high repeat purchase and LTV. So I don't validate an idea. I don't run ads, see if it works and then launch the business. I don't need to do that because I start with a backwards approach, which is who am I targeting? What do they value? Then I produce a product that I know that they need. The second thing is, as I briefly mentioned before, we need to separate the two areas of the business. So we got brand and product. Now it goes without saying, guys, if you have a shit product that doesn't work, you need to make sure that those things are in check, okay? If you guys want to build sustainability and credibility in business, invest money in your product quality. Give consumers good shipping time. Don't tell them that it's going to come in 3 to 5 days when you know very well it's going to come in 14 days, okay? So don't bullshit and lie to your customer. Very important. Now, when it comes to brand, what I want you guys to start doing is thinking about it like this. What can I do that's going to entertain and engage my consumers? And how is that going to tie into a movement? So let's take an athletic brand for an example. Say you're starting a gym wear brand and your movement is to encourage ordinary people to get into their fitness. Now, by ordinary, what I'm talking about here is having a demographic of, they're not gym bros or gym girls that are like ripped and lean. These are your average day, office people that are looking to get into fitness. They may lack motivation. So this is the level of depth that you need to go into, by the way, when it comes to understanding your customer. Say your movement is about encouraging people like that to get into their fitness, but their fitness journey is going to be fun. It's not going to be serious. It's not going to be wake up at 6, track your macros, track your blah, 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 write down everything you eat. It's going to be about balance. So our movement is going to be about making lifestyle a choice and making it fun. As a result of that, what we're going to do to build up our brand integrity and our brand values and our brand as a whole is we're going to do monthly events where we're going to do a run club. After that, we're going to put on a healthy barbecue. We're going to get everyone to wear our gym clothes on the day. We're going to get a videographer there. We're going to get footage. We're going to capture that emotion of people having fun on the day, sharing success with each other. We may have little challenges for people, right? It could be to run 3Ks, to run 5Ks, to run 8Ks. They get to choose based on where they're at. This is just an idea off the top of my head. You surely see what I'm talking about here. We're getting people to buy into the experience of the brand, and at the same time, we're plugging the product. And this content is fucking gold. Because when it comes to building up your organic presence as a brand, you don't want to be selling to your audience. The selling happens as a byproduct of engaging content and educative content, okay? So that's the second thing. Something we do really well at the moment with my current brand, it's a women's fashion brand, is we have these monthly events, right? We invite a bunch of our would-be customers, so people within our demographic. Sometimes we invite certain customers to come, VIP customers. We get influencers to attend, and one of my co-founders, Sasha, she'll come and she'll talk about why we started the brand, why we're designing the clothes that we make. We capture all of that content, and the reason why is, and this is the third thing that I want you guys to focus on, it's storytelling as a brand. So we really want people to buy into the story around why you've created the brand and why the brand exists. Another benefit to doing that is, imagine inviting 20 influencers to a lunch per month. Now, mind you, these influencers may charge $5,000 to $10,000 for a post, but instead you're spending $7,000 to $8,000 to have a really nice lunch. You're getting them in your clothes, and you're essentially getting 20 people to post. So about, let's say, $200,000 worth of posts for $7,000. You're killing two birds with one stone. You're getting content, you're getting storytelling by the actual activities that you're doing on the day, and on top of that, you're getting $200,000 worth of posts for $7,000. So you're building up your brand. You're also somewhat selling product by plugging it into the content, but you're not directly selling. So you're not doing your, here's the problem, here's the solution, go after the desire, okay? You're creating movement, you're storytelling. You've got content for your organic socials that's engaging, that's going to build up community naturally, because people want to see what goes on behind the brand. They don't want to be sold to the whole time, okay? So that's the third thing. All right, now the fourth thing. Now, obviously, I know everyone wants me to talk about ads, so I'll talk about ads for you, but I want to explain to you guys why I focus so much on brand, because what you may not know is it massively positively impacts our ability to scale our ads. So when you're running Facebook ads, you're running top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. Now, I'm not saying that you're manually doing that, but that is what's happening, okay? So the first touch point for a consumer is known as top of funnel. This is where you're reaching a cold audience. They're first being introduced to your brand and product. The thing is, guys, is that you don't always have to pay to reach a cold audience through just Facebook ads. You can do it through the activities that I've already spoken about. If you think about it logically, a brand that's working on growing their brand through other means has already got a certain level of brand awareness in a certain country. That brand, when they're running ads, they're naturally going to have a lower CPA than a brand who's, say, a dropship brand that's selling a product that's only running ads, okay? Because that brand has to pay through Facebook ads to educate a consumer, introduce their brand to them, and then ultimately trickle them down the funnel to eventually sell to them. So naturally, a brand like ours, for example, that has brand awareness, we're going to be able to scale harder and faster. So it does directly impact your ads. And I know that ads is a great lever to scale, and it's something that a lot of you guys are focusing on, but I just wanted to explain to you why it is beneficial and how it's going to positively impact you. Then what you can do is, when you're running ads, you can broaden your spectrum in terms of the content that you're producing. Okay, a lot of the ads that we run, they're not even selling to the consumer. We run a lot of humorous ads. It might be like the girls in the office trying on samples and stuff like that. We run a lot of organic reels. So we'll post like 3 or 4 reels a week. A lot of the reels are just educative and entertaining, trying on samples, funny videos, talking to mic videos. And we run all of those ads using the post ID through Facebook. And those ads slap. We get a lot of scale out of those ads. Yes, it does positively impact your ads. I know you guys are addicted to dopamine like I am, and you want to see Shopify scaling and you want to scale your ads. So that's why you should focus on brand, because it does positively impact your ads. You know how else it does? Because when you have high retention and you build a loyal consumer base, which only happens when you either have a 10 out of 10 products or you have a strong brand, you can reinvest profits from repeat purchase customers back into your advertising. So think about it like this, right? You've got new customer acquisition cost, then you've got your overall sort of customer base, which is made up of new customers and repeat purchase customers. Your repeat purchase customers, you're not paying for them to convert all the time, meaning that their orders, you're maxing out your profit on those orders. That's how we scale to 20, 30, 40, $50 million a year in revenue, because we have profit from those repeat purchase customers that we then funnel back into Facebook to get new people through the door, okay? So it works as a flywheel. If you don't have that retention, you don't have the same level of profit like a brand that ours does, okay? I'm gonna leave it there for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a different style of video. I wanna start talking about different topics. So if you do want me to touch on other areas such as influencers, PR, overall brand strategy and growth, investment, stuff like that, drop me a comment, show me some love. I really appreciate it. Please press subscribe. I'm taking a lot of time out of my day to make this content for you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Love you all. Thank you so much for watching.